frame 3, we now are going to watch Berkman finish his separation move. So notice his foot is going to land. Obviously he lands on the inside part of his front foot, and by the time the foot is down, the hands are still back. Now this is a big coaching point here that we have to realize. So notice the whole foot is down. Draw this circle here, and the hands are at their furthest point back. So this is a huge thing. If you're looking at film of your hitters, don't look to see if the hands go back necessarily, but look to see where are the hands when the foot is down. Because what a lot of young hitters will do is they'll push their hands back as they're striding, but by the time they actually land, the hands have come forward. And now we're not in a loaded position, and also we've committed to a pitch that we maybe haven't decided yet if we want to swing at. So again, Lance shows us so many good positions here. We see the hands down, the hands back as the foot is down. We see the bat in this great position here, about 55 or so degrees at the top. Again, one of the things I like to coach my young hitters on is notice the space between his hands and his head and the barrel in his head. So this bat is right over top of his head, not wrapped around his neck, not laid behind his shoulder, but up at about a 55-degree angle. And then the last thing I want to talk about, I shouldn't say the last thing, a couple other things I want to talk about here is notice the position of his hands. So he puts his hands in a great position to not be too high and wrapped up here around his ear. Notice the bottom hand is about level with his shoulder. So that's something we really want to look at. The hands are behind his foot. Now this is not a position that everybody can get into. Lance is an extremely flexible athlete. Most players' hands get even with their back foot. Lance's hands actually get behind his back foot, which is one of the reasons he hits with such tremendous power. And then the last thing I want to talk about here is look how balanced he is. So you'll notice I can draw a line basically right here in the middle of his body, and you can see his balance is centered. So if we were doing a weight distribution, I would argue that it's about 50-50, that his weight is 50-50. And again, if he dropped his hands right now, he could play you one-on-one in basketball. So in today's world of getting our foot down, a lot of coaches talking about getting your foot down early, we got to make sure that when our foot's down, our hands are back and our weight is balanced, because we want to get our hands back, but we can't have all of our weight back, because what will happen then is we'll either end up jumping forward or hanging back. So we got to get to a balanced athletic position with our hands back and our foot down. That is what separation looks like. And I'm going to erase all these lines here for you, and we're just going to rewind this. We're going to rewind this one time here and watch again the move he makes from start to finish, and how pretty he makes that move to separate. So I would challenge coaches again, put this on the wall in the locker room, put this in the cage, show hitters what a separated position looks like from one of the game's great hitters.